What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We got Jeff back. Welcome back, Jeff. How's
Thanks,
it going?
guys.
So you're back in France now, right?
Yeah, back in France now. So I was in Austin with the team for a couple weeks, but yeah, back in the saddle.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to have you back. And today is actually the perfect video to bring you back because we're talking about something that I feel like gets overlooked, especially because we're so deep in what we're doing here, Digital BGA, and we're constantly having technical conversations. And today we're taking it all the way back to the beginning and looking at why it matters to be a life insurance agent, right? It's something we don't discuss often, but I think especially now during the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, it's a good time to look at what grounds us in what we do.
Yeah, exactly. And like David said, this is like one of the most basic questions, that start the entire process for a lot of new agents. Or a lot of times when we're making videos like this, we try to think to ourselves, like, who is going to be watching this? Who could this help? And this could even be for agents that have been in the business for 5-10 years that just want to see what's out there content wise about why this job is so important and how you can genuinely help people. And I think it really starts with, I'll let Jeff kind of dive into a lot of this. He has more experience than all of us when it comes to working with agents or even being an agent, but just the power of what you can actually do as an agent, what life insurance policies can really do for a family and so on.
Yeah, Josh, don't discount yourself. Remember when you were an agent, crushing several policies a day before you became director of marketing here. So don't discount your experience here. I know you got it. But yeah, as far as like what a life insurance policy does and how it can help you. I mean, technically speaking, right? Technically speaking, it's a contract between an insurance company and a person where the insurance company guarantees a tax-free lump sum payment in exchange for regular payments over time. That's such a cold response, but that's like the definition of kind of what a life insurance policy does. But really, it protects families from financial ruin. To me, just in my own words and how I see it, it separates the proactively responsible adults whose family relies on them financially, right? And then it separates them from the uninsured, the doo-doo-doos, like nothing's ever going to happen to me, just kind of walking along in life. Those adults with their kind of head in the clouds, ignoring the biggest risk their family faces. To me, that's the difference, right? And to me, it's kind of a reckless decision when people depend on you not to get life insurance. And that's how I've always seen life insurance. And I've kind of developed this view over seeing, hundreds of death claims at Digital BGA, being paid out and knowing that it makes a difference, but also seeing my own friends and family struggle and kind of, have their entire lives changed over losing somebody. So, I mean, I've seen life insurance payouts over $5 million, right? That completely replace incomes and make the rest of their family's life comfortable. I've seen life insurance payouts between 250 to 500 grand, right? Payouts that keep families in their home, that keep their kids in school, the same school with the same friends, so they continue their life and their support system, right? Just give time for family to transition and grieve and get back on their feet, right? And then we see these smaller $10,000 or $25,000 small final expense policies really make an impact on a surviving family member or spouse or kids or anything. Guys, life insurance can help in so many ways. And I think a lot of agents lose sight of that. And I feel that the more that an agent tunes into the effects that life insurance has, the more conviction they gain and the more successful they become in this business, because you can't fake conviction over time. You can fake it on phone calls here and there, right? But you can't fake it over time. And that's where I see lots of agents kind of excel, because they have that conviction. And to me, when we talk about like how life insurance, like what a life insurance policy does, how it can help, to me, that's what it's all about. The best agents are relating to their prospects by telling stories because they've seen life insurance work.
I was just going to say that I could feel the power in your response. And then I was going to say, from our time at Digital BGA, how easy it is for us to see that if they have the same kind of passion that was even just stated with that answer, or any passion really, compared to somebody who's flat, or how easy it is to be able to tell that they believe in the product itself. Because I think that that's hard for a lot of agents to believe in, because it's a piece of paper. And in today's day and age, sometimes it takes a while to even become a piece of paper, and it's just a digital cookies floating around until it's finalized and done, right? And the success that they have when they believe in the product is crazy compared to if you don't quite know the power of what it can do yet. Another part of what I think a lot of agents don't quite understand in the beginning, or even sometimes they lose sight of it because they begin, let's say, tunnel vision on certain products because they've sold it so many times. Whatever the case is that life insurance does have a lot of different options. Once you're licensed to sell it, you can help families in a ton of different ways. There's, final expense whole life policies for the older demographic just trying to take care of a burial. There's term insurance for, the youngest of age groups up until 50, 60, 70s, whatever age you are, that can be nothing but safety and security of replacing income if a spouse were to pass away prematurely. There is cash investment vehicles that can be used. We won't dive into, the specifics behind companies and actual products. The point really is that when you're licensed to help people in this fashion, you take it seriously, you can really help somebody after finding out what they need and what's going to give them comfort and protect them financially. You can gear it towards them and really tailor a package for them.
Totally. Yeah, there's so many different ways and so many different, just so many different ways you can help families out there. I mean, for me, I'll talk about what I have. I have term life insurance with living benefits. So does my wife. We've got several policies each, and we have several policies because we keep adding on as we have more children, right? And we take on more financial risk with mortgages and whatnot. So, most of our coverage expires in 15 years when our kids are grown up and, they'll be able to take care of themselves. And that right there, like the planning of it all, right? And knowing that my family won't have to work, they can stay in our house, our kids can focus on their studies and continue on without me provides a tremendous amount of relief to me. And that's kind of, when you talk about the benefits and everything that what we do provides, to me, that's it. And that's what we do as life insurance agents. So we're facilitating the peace of mind, the comfort, that feeling of relief for families. And of course we're protecting families, like, don't get me wrong, right? But we're working directly with the person who will never get to see the death benefit payout. You guys realize that, right? We're selling an intangible product whose core benefit won't be realized in their entire lifetime, right? So they're not going to see that payout. So what are our clients really getting? And to me, they're getting that peace of mind, right? Which sounds so cliche, right? Peace of mind. Everybody says it in the insurance business, right? But they feel it, right? Their family feels it. When you buy it, you get this feeling. At least I have this feeling. It makes me feel a certain way that they're taken care of. And for what, like a couple $100 a month? It's nothing. It's one of the most powerful things that you can sell if you're selling it correctly and you get people to kind of feel that. And I think that's what we're really doing here. We're providing that feeling for families so they feel safe, that they feel taken care of. Because really, when we're selling to people, like, we're selling to something that they're never going to see get used. It's kind of almost a thankless thing that you're doing, selfless thing. So that's how I see it. Like, it's just that feeling you get, that relief, that peace of mind that we're transferring.
Yeah, maybe that's a good question for anybody looking to become an agent, or just became an agent, or has been an agent for a long time. Is just to every now and then ask yourself, if something happened to you or a loved one, are you set? Why are you set, and would you be set without it? And if that plants any kind of fear in you, you should be able to relay that message to your, prospects, clients, consumers, whatever word we want to use there for that. But if it scares you, it scares other people too. So it is providing a service and helping people, and you are the licensed professional that can do it at that point.
Also, being that core person in your own personal circle, how much that matters, right? We always talk about, hey, I have a guy for this, I have a guy for that, right? Jeff, you just dropped your car off, right? You probably need a guy for your cars in France. I remember when I first joined digital, and Jeff, I don't know if you remember this, but my grandfather passed away um, the day before we were shooting our second round of commercials. And my dad, obviously, when my grandfather passed away, it started to spark all these ideas. Did he have life insurance? You know, and then my dad started thinking, well, maybe I should get life insurance. And he asked me. You guys know I'm not the life insurance guy here at the
Right.
company, but I was able to refer him to somebody. And I wish that if there was ever a time that I wish I had a different role at Digital BGI, I wished it was during that time, because I wish that I could have been the person that had the technical knowledge to guide my dad to what he was looking to achieve. Right. And we ended up referring him to Brian, and Brian ended up referring him to someone else. But that matters, being that person inside your circle of life that has the knowledge and can provide the care to have these intimate conversations. It matters to be that person inside of your circle.
For sure. I believe that agents can really impact their clients just in their conversations that they're having. So most people, they don't know how big of an impact their passing will have on their family. Like, you don't really think about that, but you're having conversations about that as a life insurance agent, right? If you can really paint the picture so that so that they get the appropriate amount of coverage, and more importantly, they keep the coverage active, like, that is making a major impact on an entire family. Because it's one thing to buy life insurance, and it's a whole other thing to value it so much that it will never lapse, right? And and that's what great life insurance agents do for their clients, right? We hear stories every year of agents getting phone calls from somebody who passed away. Like, they'll get a phone call, and because somebody found something in a drawer, name and phone number with life insurance on it, right? But they never moved forward with it. And you have kids calling in, or spouses calling in, hey, did so and so ever buy life insurance from you? And you have agents. I mean, I hear these stories every single year. They say, no, never did, and that agent feels a lot of guilt because they feel like they should have followed up. But those are the types of situations that we deal with, and they're pretty heavy situations, right? Just by doing our job correctly, we make a big impact on families just by having those conversations, right? Having them hash out what would happen if they passed away. It's a big conversation. They likely don't have those conversations with maybe their spouse, maybe not, right? But a conversation that's so intimate that they've likely never had before, but they're having with you as their life insurance agent, right? Like, being vulnerable in that way, like talking about what would happen if they were to pass away. Like, that's a big impact that you have on something. You have this sort of relationship, and I don't think agents take this very. They take it too lightly, I think.
Yeah, almost like it becomes routine to them.
Yeah, and I mean, taking it further than that, I mean, we've talked about in previous YouTube videos, like, really agitating those problems. Like, even though somebody's interested in life insurance, you have somebody on the phone. Like, you need to really agitate those problems so they really feel it, right? And you help them build conviction in owning life insurance to protect their family. So that's, to me, beyond just selling life insurance, we're really impacting people's lives to really, one, value life insurance so that they keep it, and it gives them this feeling, the feeling that I have, honestly, owning life insurance, knowing my family's taken care of, right? That's the feeling that I want to pass on to people as well. Having that sort of, like, they're good if something happens to me. Like, I can go get hit by a bus out there, be on my deathbed, and be like, my family's okay, and be out. Like,
let's hope that never happens.
Yeah, because we might not be okay. They might be, but
yeah. But I mean, I know it's taken to an extreme there, but that's kind of what we're doing. And we really make an impact beyond just selling a life insurance policy. And and I know a lot of agents out there realize that, and they feel that but a lot of agents out there are, the more transactional agents, the people who are just trying to get their footing in the business. They're so worried about making ends meet with the business that I think a lot of them lose sight of that. But when you have that conviction and you have that feeling, and you make it a goal to transfer that conviction to your clients, I think that is just an added value that we provide. We're not really paid for it, right? We're paid to sell a life insurance policy and get a commission. That's how most agents see it, unfortunately.
Mhm.
But if you really think about what we're really doing in these conversations and the impact that we're making with people, I think it's incredible. I think it's really, really incredible.
I think a word that would be great for new agents, experienced agents, people that aren't even licensed yet that are thinking about getting licensed, instead of giving a background on my days selling, I would sum it up with a word of learn what urgency actually means when it comes to a product like this. And I'll use a personal, what's going on in my life right now, as how you can relate to urgency, because we see some of our best agents feel like they have that, or they have something that's happened to them in the past that makes them very good at relating to this product. And for me, it's the opposite. I was an agent and I can't do anything about it now. And I couldn't do anything about it then because I didn't have the urgency. But when you don't have life insurance, in my family situation with my mom who's battling stage 4 pancreatic cancer, there's nothing you can do at that point. And that's something that people can instill in their voice and their personality when they're talking to them, if they've been through that or if they haven't, just understanding that can happen. Because now those lines that you think are scripts, on a phone, and those things that you think you have to say because it's in front of you on a computer screen, that's what actually happens. Is your family does get stuck with bills, and it does hurt everybody else, and it makes the person going through it the rest of their life not nearly as comfortable because they don't want to do that to, anybody I've met does not want to do that to their loved ones either. So it is super powerful, and it could be tomorrow if you're 25 years old or 55 years old. So having urgency and understanding that the product is there to protect it immediately once it's there is huge in this business, because it usually is not, the age that you think it's going to happen. It's going to happen when you thought you were safe to wait or to put it off another year, and then bam, and then there's no options. So urgency, I think, is huge as well.
I got a question here. And when I think about the gravity of life insurance and I think about the importance of it, the way that my mind works is it says that this isn't going to be something that's an industry that's not going to be going away anytime soon. There's almost like this phrase, how insurance is recession proof, right? Jeff, I don't know if that's true or not. You can kind of.
Yeah, no, it's true. Life insurance has been sold for centuries, right? It's been around for a very long time. It's one of the best industries in the world. When you factor in the things we get to do for families, the impact that we have, combined with like the certainty of life insurance that's been around for centuries, like that's a killer combination to be in any business.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking in my head is, if I was in my mid 20s looking for something to become my career, and I'm looking at, something that would give me drive and passion, something that will allow me emotional conviction, but also something that will give me security that, hey, I can do this for a long time. Is this something you would suggest to someone? Is selling life insurance something you would suggest to someone that fits those parameters?
Yeah. So I'll say this. Look, when I got into the industry, I was in my early 20s. And I didn't have that sort of passion to help people protect their families. That wasn't what it was for me, right? A lot of people are brought into the business on, either recruiting or MLM or, basically making money and not helping families. I was brought in the business through the financial planning aspect of it, right? So I can help people financially, but also help them with life insurance. So, for me, it's hard for somebody who hasn't experienced death, hasn't had to plan a funeral, taken care of family members, felt the effects of something, to really grasp how impactful the life insurance business is, until they'll come in and they'll get trained. They probably don't have that. Oh, it's cool. We're selling life insurance. But until they have that first death claim, or they have those first few conversations where somebody shares that with them, I think that's where it really clicks with some people, and where they can get that sort of, I guess that feeling of doing good in their work. So yeah, to answer your question, David, yeah, I do think somebody in their, let's call it new, in their 20s, are looking for something that's more fulfilling, a better way to earn money. Look, this is a tough business. It is. Like, this is a sales business, and if you understand that, I think this is a fantastic business to be in. And I would, some of the highest performers are in their 20s, and they have the conviction. Did they have it at the beginning? A lot of them didn't, but they developed it. They saw what it did, and they became more aware of it. So, yeah, I think it absolutely is a good move.
We've even seen some of them pick up that conviction later. Not to say it lightly, but sometimes, I mean, if you're an agent that long, sometimes you don't have it in the beginning and something does happen. And then it's like, wow, now it's almost like that takes their career to the stratosphere, because now they have a ton of passion and they realize the power of it.
Totally. I mean, just in the process, I mean, if you're on our platform, you're taking calls, like having 4 or 5 full presentations a day, having, you're going to come across in your first few weeks stories, and, seeing families impacted, because a lot of people are calling in for a reason. And I think you can gain that sort of conviction as a new agent, even if you don't have it. I would say most agents don't have it, honestly. Like, you get in this business, most agents, they don't have that sort of, they really want to just protect families. It's something like some of us have, like, coming into the business, but most of us don't. It's something you kind of acquire as you have these really impactful conversations with people, because that's what you're doing all day. And I would say, if you're kind of thinking about joining the life insurance industry, you need to be a good communicator. You need to be empathetic, right? And if you have that, and you can have these big conversations with people, you're going to do really, really well.
So I think if we had to sum all this up for somebody looking, again, to get into this career, somebody new to it, or if you're experienced, when I first started out in this industry, I had a friend who was also an agent that I became pretty close with, who's still an agent to this day. And it was never about commissions. It was never about, let's go write as many policies as possible. He always would text, or his phrase would be, "Are you ready to go protect some families?" And he took that super seriously. And that he still jokes about it to this day. I'll be like, "Are you at work?" And he'll be like, yeah, man, protecting families today." He says it all the time. So maybe if we could just get a slight mental shift to that with agents, that's what they're really doing, and that's what they can build their days around, that it could be that much more of a powerful career, and they would really get a lot of fulfillment out of it.